Hi traders, this is Chris from Elite Currency. Today's view, of course, taking a look at the euro dollar and the pound dollar as the month of October ends and the new month of November starts. Alright, so let's kick off with the euro dollar. Now, first of all, note that the last day of the month is typically a bit rockier and choppier than usual. Also, of course, tomorrow there are new monthly candles to analyze and view, looking at the candle close, the candle outlook. Is it bullish, bearish? Is there a wick? Gives a lot of info. I will be taking a look at that on the euro dollar and pound dollar on Thursday. So anyhow, with that said, let's continue with taking a look at this 4-hour chart. Price is making a correction and hit the 38.2 fib from my point of view at 116.50, which could be a turning spot, of course, if price breaks this kind of corrective flag on the 1-hour chart. We had a slight break already in the morning, but it didn't really follow through. It was still before London, so we have a new trend line to work with. And if there is a break through that support trend line, there should be a continuation down to the -272 target at 115.15 approximately. So if price does not break, but rather bounces, it could, of course, retrace a little bit deeper, for instance, to the 50 fib, and then turn there and make a new break to the downside. So this is a bear flag at this moment, and let's see, this is typical corrective structure and pattern after a strong momentum. So typically those patterns break to the downside and continue with at least one more lower low. So looking at the daily chart, you can see also thick MACD at this moment. This is downtrend at this point, and that of course was very clear since last week. We talked about that already, the break of this. So what is the target? Then we need to zoom out even further to the weekly chart and put a fib from this bottom to this top. We talked about this at the weekend as well, but just in case. So the target, the main target here, around 115, 38.2 fib, 114.80 to be precise. 115 is around level, so I would not aim necessarily below 115. 115, I think 115.10 is probably the best, because this is a rough zone of a support. So that is the target for the moment, expecting a break, pullback, continuing towards that. And also at 115, there could be bullish bounce potential, and therefore also looking at the candlesticks on the daily chart at the 38.2 fib or 4-hour chart for a particular for a potential bullish bounce at the 38.2 fib. So that's still the same. Going back to these lower time frames though, basically just looking for a break of this flag. If it does break above the 50, well, I would say break above the 61.8 fib, then this is not as bearish as I expected. Something else is going on, and I'm neutral territory for the moment. But at this point, I think that the euro dollar is just making a correction and looking good for a breakout continuation towards that 115 target we've been mentioning already in the last few videos. So pound dollar is still choppy and corrective. It bounced strongly off of that support zone we had discussed in the last two videos, and now is approaching a new resistance zone. If we connect these trend lines, you can see that pretty clearly. So it's reaching the top of that channel. There's a little bit of a breakout continuation possible. There's a little bit of a sideways zone with good momentum prior to it. So there could be slight break that could create divergence between these tops as it approaches resistance. There could be a reversal trade if there are bearish candlestick patterns on the 1-hour or 4-hour charts back to retest the 61.8 fib. In that case, I would put a fib from here to here and look for a move back to the 61.8, which is the support trend line as well, and some bottoms on the left. If it doesn't break, because there is resistance at this point, right, and it doesn't break, but it instead goes to this support trend line like this, then in that case, there could be an immediate breakout, and in that case, there could be still the 61.8 as target, and there could be a counter trend breakout right here down to the 61.8 fib. All of these trade ideas are not particularly that interesting from my perspective, because the structure is not that clear. We have strong down, we have strong up. All in all, it is in a channel with very clear support. So it's more like a triangle, perhaps in that case. Difficult patterns, difficult particular structure at this moment. So the ideas I have are not that particular interesting, I think. But yes, some shorts to retest support could happen, and then of course the 61.8 could provide again a bounce until eventually price will have to break either way, to the downside or to the upside and break this bigger triangle, and that still remains to be seen. I think it could break both ways, and for me, from my perspective, it's 50-50 whether it's going to break up or down. All right, check out Elite Currency, of course, for more free material and free analysis, and check out ECS Live as well here. We had some great response and great setups last week. This week, still a free trial, and you can still join up and try it out. Or, of course, secure a spot for the next few weeks or next months, in fact, and sign up for ECS Live. So I hope that you do that soon. But in the meantime, in any case, wish you all good trading. See you on Thursday. Cheers.